This starting video of the PvP is just going to be primarily based about the Death Knight, unfortunately. So if you don't have a Death Knight, I'll just show off these things and how hard they can hit. Although the training W's don't seem to be the best to use them on. Maybe if I use, how much do I hit the raiding one for? Ah, that's not like it. Right, okay. For some reason I just hit harder on smaller creatures. Okay, yeah, let's use this Raiders training W then instead. Because I don't actually hit obscenely. So, level 100 talents, as you can see. The other talents haven't changed too much. The only thing that has changed is that Roiling Blood has been removed. Annoying for blood decays. But Plague Bearer, Deathcore and Froststrike also infect your target, adding 4 seconds to the duration of Frost Fever and Blood Plague. An additional stack of Necrotic Plague, which is the level 100 talents, and I'll show you that in a second. This is amazing. You basically will never run out of your disease, because you'll pretty much, especially in PvE, your rotation includes Frost Strike or Death Coil, depending if you're Unholy or Frost. Yeah, so you know that's brilliant. Where you've got Plague Leech, I mean, yeah, I never really used this. I didn't like. I mean, it did, you know, give you 2 fully depleted runes as death runes, which is nice. But I don't know. I just generally didn't find it that good. It might have just been because I couldn't get my rotation sorted well enough, or anything like that. Or maybe it's just gone bad. I used to have Unholy Blight because it was just basically a nice AoE diseases. Spread it around on everyone, so you didn't have to use Pestilence. You could just put this up, and also it timed well, so you could, especially in a PvE fight, use Outbreak, put on your diseases, and then Unholy Blight, and then by the time you need to refresh your diseases again, you can Outbreak again, and then yeah, you just carry on like that. So this was really useful, and also in PvP, if you just like jump into a big group, yeah, you don't need to Pestilence, don't need to waste a rune. You just pop this and it affects everyone with the plague. So yeah, I've gone for Lichborn again because yeah, it's also got new Leech, which could be really useful. I'm mainly going to use it to get out of Charm, Fears and Sleeps. I'm not sure how Diminishing Returns has gone. Wow, that looks weird. Chillblains again. You know, I like the movement slowing. Hopefully people can't get out of my slows as quickly, especially druids, bastards. Then I've got Runic Empowerment. Yep, you know, it's the best one for Frost, I think, out of the 2 others. Conversion, which I might switch out because 10 Runic Power a second is a lot. Whereas I don't think anyone uses Death Siphon. You know what? I've got 200 tomes. I've never actually used Death Siphon, so let's have a look if they've improved it by anyway. So without any, oh, it doesn't require disease anymore. So it does 3k, heals back 12k, and costs a blood or death rune. Ah, death rune. That's okay. So if I put diseases on, does it do more damage? What, crit? So if it crits, then obviously it heals you for more. Yeah. So I'm going to go for Death Pack because it heals the Death Knight for 53% of maximum health, and it does absorb healing equal to 50% of the amount healed for 15 seconds. 15 seconds is quite a long time. Oh, actually, now looking at that, I don't know. Oh, so you take half healing for 15 seconds. They've really switched up this tier. Wow. Conversion might be alright. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, Horn of Winter doesn't generate runic power anymore. Let's go back to conversion for a sec. I'm just going to quickly do that. So I've got 12, so 10 goes, and then does the 2 go? No, it stops. Okay. So 5k instant heal may take up runic power. Death Siphon deals well, it dealt about 4k of extra damage and healed me about 16 roughly. It's not bad. The only problem is it requires a rune. A Death Pact. Right, I'm gonna have a little look at Death Pact then. So boom. But next 62,000 healing will be absorbed. Oh, they've made that quite difficult actually. I'm gonna stick with conversion for now. Oh, what's the cooldown? 2 minutes. Fine. Moving on. Remorseless Winter I'm keeping because, you know, it's just a nice, well, AoE stun when you get it off, and it normally works on people. I mean, I could go for that for an extra trinket. This is more PvE, and also it's good if you're doing Silver Shard mines, so you can pull everyone out of the ring. But yeah, I'm sticking with Remorseless. Now, on to the new talents. So we have Necrotic Plague. So a powerful disease deals 113 Shadow Frost damage per stack every 2 seconds for 30 seconds. Each time it deals damage, it gains 1 stack and infects another nearby enemy within 8 yards if possible. Gain 2 runic power whenever the target infected with Necrotic Plague attempts to attack you, and replaces your other diseases. But it cannot be refreshed, it just gains 1 stack instead. So, I wonder how many times you can stack this up to. Don't think it says, which means that could be incredibly powerful. The only problem is, I don't know if it can be dispelled. I'm assuming so because it's a disease. So it's really good, and it will be really good in PvE, especially on an AoE fight. But if a healer decides just to, you know, dispel it, then you've got to reapply. Well, I suppose you only have to reapply 1. Yeah, you only have to reapply it once because it replaces both Blood Plague and Frost Fever. The only problem is you have to then get it up the stacks. So it's hit and miss really. It depends if, I mean, who can dispel diseases? Is it shamans? Just shamans, because priests have got magic unless everything's changed. Or is it druids who can dispel disease as well? Not sure. It's interesting that. I mean, it sounds really good, and if you can get it up to, like, I don't know, maybe 50 stacks is a bit, you know, extreme, but if you can get it really high up, then my god, that would be a lot of damage going across to everyone, because it will just keep spreading. So, and then we have Defile, which I love the sound of this. However, I'm not sure if it's going to be any decent. So, Defiles the ground targeted by the Death Knight. Every 1 second, if there are any enemies standing in Defile, it deals 1076 Shadow Frost damage to them, and grows in radius and damage by 2.5%. So, That's every second. Enemies standing in defile deal 10% less damage to you. Replaces death and decay. It sounds awesome, but yeah, I'm not sure how well it will grow, and I mean, I'm pretty sure it will work well, but it depends as well if you can glyph it, because you know the glyph, well you might not, but there's a glyph at the moment where death and decay reduces their movement speed. Where is it? Glyph of death and decay. Yeah, reduces their movement speed by 50%. I use it, or used to actually. I switched out for this shifting presences, because if you're in trouble and you need to switch to blood presence out of frost, then I could do and still have conversion ticking, which is very nice. So I'm assuming it will work the same, but they are different abilities. So will they be slowed down by 50% in this? Not sure. I'll give it a try in it. Breath of Syndragosa. So 15 runic power plus 15 per second. That is a lot of runic power, and so this could be I don't know, this was the worst one I thought out of the things that I just had a quick skim read over, because that's a lot of runic power, and you'll need a full bar, which I suppose in some cases you may have a full bar, but for PvP with conversion ticking or whatever I decide to have, I will probably need the runic power for healing, but if we read here, continuously deals 2,481 Shadow Frost damage every 1 second to enemies in a cone in front of you within 12 yards, and affects them with Mark of Syndragosa for 6 seconds. You will continue breathing until runic power is exhausted or is cancelled. Mark of Syndragosa causes you to be healed with 5% of spell damage dealt by afflicted enemies. Now I've noticed that that's also spell damage. So if you're in a melee fight with, say, a warrior, this is going to be pretty useless, because they don't do spell damage unless it means that it heals you for spell damage dealt by afflicting enemy. Oh, afflicted enemy. Oh yeah. I'm just gonna give them a try. So I'm gonna start off with Necrotic Plague, because this sounds really good. So let's start off on the Raiders dummy. So that gives you 2 stacks of the plague, I believe, 4 stacks, 6 stacks, 7 stacks, 8 stacks. So every time you hit him, you gain more stacks. So how much damage is it doing roughly? Let's have a look. 2,000. 3,000. That's on 15 stacks. 2,000. Okay. 2,000 roughly. When I get Outbreak back, I'll see how many stacks I can get up to. Right, so Outbreak has just refreshed. Let's see how many stacks I can get up to. I could, yeah, pop cooldowns, so it won't actually help. Just increase my strength, really. So, yeah, let's just go. Let's just see how many stacks I can get up to. Well, we're nearly up to 10 already. Okay, so halfway done. I could pop, yeah, let's pop this. Empower Rune Weapon. Okay, so maximum is 15 stacks. Deals 2k damage. Okay. I suppose one good thing now, if I just like Chains of Ice, that spreads. That spreads. See, that's quite nice. In an AoE situation, That is really nice. Especially because it's like every tick it goes up. Wow. If only I could do this much damage with diseases, that'd be amazing. So by the time that it runs out, it will have refreshed or got to 15 stacks. The only problem is you can't refresh it. But it's on the 30-second. Ah, they've increased outbreak to a minute. Damn, son. Well. Okay. Yeah, I can see its uses. I can see how it'll be good. Let's switch to Defile. So, replaces Death and Decay. I'm going to use it on this slot first, see how much it grows. So, let's see, is it growing? No, it is growing. Oh wow, actually that is really cool. It doesn't last very long though. So with 3 people in, it grew quite a bit. In fact, while I'm at it, I'm just going to quickly shift out, this. I want to check if the Death and Decay also means Defile. Nope. So, unfortunately, Defile, I mean, it would be amazing if it did work with it, because then you could have them slowed as well. So they would do 10% less damage, they would get dealt damage, and it would just keep growing. Yeah, it would be nice if that did actually work with it. Oh well, let's switch back. Cool, so how much damage does it do on this guy? So 1k, so yeah, 2k, 1k, yeah, not great, but then again, I mean, you've got to also think the whole thing has been changed by the stat squish, and oh my god, that Syrian totem went crazy. The stat squish means everything looks like it's doing a lot less damage, but it could, well, it might actually, and it probably will be, quite a lot of damage if you think about it. Okay, Breath of Sindragosa. Let's see what this one is all about. So, first of all, I'm going to have to build up runic power. So let's do that. Let's just, it won't hit Frost Strike at all. Let's get a full bar of runic power, and then we'll go nuts. So, okay, yeah, forgot Hornet Whip doesn't give it to you anymore. Right, okay, so let's go. Okay, so healing definitely. Ooh, 5% of all damage. I didn't like that. It didn't seem to deal that much damage. If out of all of them, I think that's so temperamental. I suppose I'm gonna try it again, but I'm gonna keep on using my abilities and keep on generating runic power, and you know what? I can get a timer up. We'll use the classic World of Warcraft stopwatch and see how long, roughly, I can keep on going with Mark of Sindragosa. Okay, so let's get 100 runic power first. And then we'll try not to use Frost Strike. Right, still doesn't give it. Right, okay. So I've got 100 runic power. I'll wait for my runes to cool down. and I can go full out, Marcus Indigosa, and I'll start the stopwatch. In fact, I'm going to put the stopwatch down here so I can press start and mark. It's ready? So, for outbreak, go. Don't target the bear. Keep going. I mean, it's not doing too bad. I've kind of run out now. There we go. Okay, so roughly, without having to hit Frost Strike, it's a good, what, 15, I would say 15, 16 seconds of damage, because obviously the delay of like me hitting it. That's not too bad. I still don't think it's worth it though. Yeah, it's good against spellcasters because the 5% damage dealt by spells is healed back, but I don't know. It didn't impress me as much. I am going to go for a Necrotic Plague. The only actually, why did I do that? So Frost Fever. If I have that, will it mean that I can no longer get Chillblains on my targets? Oops, I meant to spend it. So, learn. Chillblains. No more Chillblains. They've really put me in a pretty tricky situation because basically I'm just gonna have to change the way I play, which is good, actually, because it means I learn a new way of playing Death Knights. It'll obviously take me a while to get used to it, but I think it'll go well. Also, this, actually, it adds a new additional stack to Necrotic Plague. There's so many combinations now. Things necrotic, and so many things that don't work with each other. So I'm going to go with conversion again, and defile. I'm not sure. Defile is like everything works in its own way. You know what? I'm going for this. So I'm going to keep Necrotic Plague. I think it's the best one. I mean, I didn't like Breathless Indigosa. I don't like how much ruining power it uses. Defile, I like it. It's pretty good. But as soon as they see it, especially if you're against the monk, warrior, druid, they'll just jump out straight away. Well, and especially if they're ranged, like, yeah. They're just gonna leap out and your defile's just sat there, so it's only really good against melee. This, I like it. It does quite a bit of damage. It gains more and more stacks. It is a disease, so it can be dispelled, which is annoying. But considering you're always putting it on, because if they dispel it, then in fact, I'm just gonna wait until it runs out. If I do this, oh no, wait, I'm gonna need a Frost Strike. If I use Frost Strike, it doesn't apply it. Damn. I was hoping it did apply it, because then you could always have it going up. I suppose with Rhyme and Howling Blast, it will still work. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little introduction to the talents and a quick little test of how some of the things work and my personal thoughts on what will be best. In the next video, I am going to, or next lot of videos rather, I am going to go to Ashram and I will show you hopefully some of the PvP. Hopefully I'll find a few people there I can start killing. yeah, and I'll test out all my talents, see what's best, and yeah, hopefully kill some horde. So yeah, my name's Kronk. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this little introduction to the Death Knight, Warlords of Draenor beta, feel free to subscribe. I'll do more of this. Also, I'm thinking of putting out a TF2 video soon because I recorded some pretty nice scout plays. So yes, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.